Austin 316 says I just whipped your ass.
With a nasty temperament. Ice, well, his watch is working as well as ours. No, there it is. How about it?
Got your attention?
Damn! What is the biggest ick?
People like wrestling.
You can suck my fucking dick!
And just like that, we're back. It's Thursday night. It's Thursday night Sweet Chin Music. We got D, we got Biggie, we got Boston Chris, we got Papa Wheelie, your host, and me, Beckerman. We're here to talk some wrestling. And by gum, that old Boston Chris was at one of those expensive WWE shows.
That's right. I went to Raw on Monday, but I did not pay a fortune to get there, which was nice. But the tickets, I will say that, like, to be in the better sections, you need a very good job. That's all I'm gonna say. But it was a great show. I took my daughter for the very first time to see wrestling, and what a show to take her to. Like that was. I don't think I could have picked a better show for her to go to outside of a pay-per-view. Like, that was really.
Was that her first show?
Fortunate. Yep, first time ever. So she loved it. She had a lot of fun. And man, like, just one of those things where, like, everything, like, lucks out for you, and you get to see, just a bunch of different stuff happen all at once. It was, seeing the match happen first. It was unbelievable. The crowd was, as Beckham had pointed out to me in a DM that night, the crowd was, like, on fire as soon as Cena hit the ring. From that point on, the crowd was absolutely insane, for that match. And then, they kind of started to cool down to the next couple, but then when CM Punk came out, right back up, everything turned back up again. Then, they had a couple of the two last time is now segments or whatever, those two matches. And, middle of the road reactions for some of those. But when another person who was over like crazy is Rhea Ripley. When she came out at the end, the crowd is putty in her hands, because literally all she did at the very end, so at the end of it and everything like that, she just went like this, and the entire crowd went absolutely insane. She didn't hit anybody or anything like that. She just said "War Games" and then went like that, and the whole place, like, the roof came off again, just like Cena. It was unreal. Very fun time.
What were the merch prices like?
I couldn't get to the merch because the merch, the merch line was so thick and deep, it was out of control. I think I did see that it was $50 for a T-shirt, and I think they were selling championship titles for $650. So very expensive. I'll have to try to see if I can compare that with, because next Wednesday is AEW, and I mean, when in Rome, why not? And I'm actually off of work all next week, so I can do it and not have a problem. So I think I'm going to go to the AEW show next week, and I'll be able to compare what I get for seats and potential merch at the AEW show to see,
Yeah, I'd be interested in that.
Yeah.
Do they have a pretty good card for it, or is it Dynamite or Collision or both?
It's going to be a Dynamite. But I've heard that they tape both at the same time or something like that. So I don't really know.
Not always. It'll tell you if it's a Dynamite and Collision.
Well, I think it's just a Dynamite then.
Yeah, just with the prices of WWE now, I just don't see myself going until something big happens. D, what about you? I know you're a guy that likes going to live shows. Would you go to WWE right now with these prices?
No. I would want to. But I couldn't justify it. I can afford it. I just can't justify it. And here's the deal: they're still selling out most of their seats. So I can't even be mad that they're charging that much. But they priced me out, dude. And I don't even watch the. I'm not subscribing to that ESPN Plus thing either. I'm not. I bought Peacock to get all the PLEs, and they wanted to, I signed up for that for a whole year, and then midway through the year they went to a different platform. Nah,
Yeah, that's crap.
And Biggie, I know you're not much one to go to any live events, are you?
No, not too much. No, I'm good. I haven't been to a wrestling match since I was a teenager. They used to have WCW run around here, so I'll pass.
So hell of a show. Hell of a show to go to, though. A WCW show back in the day.
Well, Pop, we didn't really get a talk beforehand. Does anybody have topics for this week? I did watch both shows. I have some things to say about Blood and Guts, or as I'd like to call it, you and Gross.
Aw. I thought it was I didn't see all of Blood and Guts. I thought that
don't cancel me.
Okay.
But I don't like looking at women with the Mask of Blood and stuff. Like, even the guys, I'm not a big fan of the Mask of Blood to begin with. You know, I was a Mick Foley fan. I feel like he understood when to do that. Now they just do it all the time, and it's meaningless. But I heard the women's match get highly praised. I thought it was disgusting. I thought the men's match was gross too.
Well, the men, I think, definitely bled more than the women, I think. But I have to say, I think that on AEW, they have toned it down a bit. It's not
I don't
quite
know.
as-
Multiple women had just like their entire face was caked in dried blood at the end. Willow Nightingale, specifically.
Well, it's called Black Glory or something, right?
I don't like it. Yeah, it was called Blood and Guts.
It's their version of War Games, and but like I think that AEW has toned it down a bit. Like, I mean, I think obviously on a show called Blood and Guts, you know what you're getting, but for the most part, they've toned it down to basically pay-per-views is where you get all the really bloody matches. Like, they don't do it as much on television as they used to.
What about you, D? Oh, here's Pie. He's got something to say.
Blood is out of control and is overused and means jack shit.
Well, I mean, 1997 fails to agree with you because ECW was blood everywhere all the time. I mean, the Attitude Era was very
maybe I was
too.
just younger and didn't like. I liked that stuff. Now it's freaking gross, man. I just wasn't into it. D, what do you think? Did you watch Blood and Guts?
I did not watch it, but I didn't protest it either. I just didn't get around to watching it. It, that's one of those things where, like, if the blood is part of the story and it's important, the women should be allowed to do it too. But when they're doing it just to be gratuitous for the sake of a pay-per-view called Blood and Guts, like, then it kind of, to me, it loses its meaning a little bit.
You know, the one part that was kind of bizarre to me was when they, the bad guys, the Death Riders, they stapled Orange Cassidy's hands into his pockets.
Yeah.
But all I could think of, well, he's wearing jeans. Would that even, would the staples even pierce that? Would that even work? I was thinking. I was like, I'm sure it stings, but I was like, would that even like anchor your hands in there?
No, you would have to drive a railroad spike through there to keep his hand in there like that.
Yeah, that might be too far even for them.
Yeah, no. If you put your hand in your pocket and you have someone staple the outside of it, it will hurt, and the cause of the reaction of the pain will make you jerk your hand out of your pocket, and your hand will be free.
Ruin the whole spot. It's just like, oh no.
But it is wrestling, and some of it is tongue in cheek. Like,
yeah, no, I get it. I was legitimately trying to think. I was like, I don't even think that's doing much. Like, I think it would sting, But
Yeah.
I mean, jeans are a thicker material, you know.
Yeah.
No. Hey, if you put your hands in your pocket and I run through with a stapler and go, "Gotcha, Becker," and slap you with it, it'll hurt, and you'll be really mad. And
Please don't do that to me, D.
no, I might though. Like you have to understand, that's always it's not
on the
100%.
table.
It's not 100%, but it's never 0%. You know?
Okay, I no longer want to meet you in the real world.
No, understood. Like you just talk to anyone that's met me. Biggie, I stapled his hands into his pockets. You know,
It's what he does.
Burke fam 54, he got it too. I stapled his hands. It just happens, but like overall, I get good reviews.
Reviews.
But yeah, no, that to me, like that it's one of the more silly gimmicks. But guess what? Cassidy is a silly character.
Right.
Yeah. Him putting his hands in his pocket, but I like Orange Cassidy. Like he's probably my favorite in AEW anyway. So
I wish he had worked the mic a little more because he is naturally funny. Like when they showed the after show stuff, when they released that on, well, I saw it on Instagram, but Orange Cassidy was like humiliating Moxley afterwards. He was like, "Oh, you know, Roddy Strong, did you tap out? You know, Mark Briscoe, did you tap out?" And the crowd picked up on it, and they all started chanting at Moxley that he tapped out.
I'll say, as far as a chant was concerned, I did try to get a chant going, but I was way too far back to be able to do that. But I watch Up Up Down Down all the time, which is Xavier Woods' channel that he uses his real name Austin Creed, and they play video games. They play Battle of the Brands, and I've been giving him a hard time for a while. And I call him Grinch Creed because of how much of a sore sport he is when he plays the game. And so I tried to get the Grinch Creed chant started, and I told him today, I tried to get the start, but I was too far back. He's like, no, you just don't have the lung stamina and the lung capacity to get it done. Maybe you need to do better next time. So now I have a mission to get that chant started at some point in a New Day match. I'm going to try to do my best to be able to see him live at a match at some point and chant out Grinch Creed or Grinch or something like that and get him to acknowledge it live. Because I've now made it my mission to not only yell at him, but be able to have him make eye contact with me. This is Boston Chris, because he only knows me as Boston Chris Comics. But I've gotten him to yell at me a couple times.
Where do you talk to him at? On Instagram or?
No, on so he has a YouTube show. He has a YouTube channel, and so he has one show that he does Battle of the Brands on. And I've gotten people in the chat to chant Grinch at him. So I'm getting a little bit of a following there. Like people know who I am on that. And he himself like just doesn't like me because I was like, you know what? I went to my first show with my daughter. She had a great time. I want to thank you for being a part of that. And he's like, oh, did you really? Isn't that fun? Well, you don't have the lung capacity to get a Grinch chant started, and that's why you didn't do it. And I was like, oh, okay, so we're still in heel mode. I see. All right. So, but I really want to get him paranoid. So every time he sees somebody in Boston, if they stare at him, like, are you him? Are you Boston Chris? Are you him? Oh, I can't wait. I'm going to mess with Austin Creed as much as I possibly can.
And ECW failed their Chris because it was hardcore all the time outside of Eddie and D. Malenko.
ECW failed because Paul Heyman was lying to the wrestlers about their finances. That's why it failed. The product didn't fail because Vince McMahon pretty much took that same exact thing and made it into the Attitude Era. So the more mature content had a place. Of course, Paul Heyman was paying to put his show on to random channels, so it wasn't like he had any kind of people to worry about as far as censors. He could do whatever he wanted. But what I was trying to get at is that, like, when you're saying the blood is overused, it's like it's no more overused than it was in the mid 90s or the late 90s, early 2000s. I mean, there's an Eddie Guerrero match where he like busts his head open with, I think, JBL, and he literally bleeds buckets, and that was like in 2003. So there's definitely a lot of different things. There's definitely been some gratuitous blood in WWE and everything else in other places. I'm saying that AEW has toned it down since they got themselves in trouble a couple of times. And I'm not saying that they don't overdo it. Like Moxley had this whole thing where he would bleed no matter what. I mean, he could be doing an interview and he'd want to be bleeding everywhere. It was ridiculous. So I agree with you on that one. I think that they have toned it down, but could it be a little gratuitous? Yes. When you have 8 wrestlers in a ring bleeding all at the same time, it's a lot to handle.
I just want to say hey to Dr. Von Hoot, and I want to acknowledge some of the things he said here. One thing he said that I was interested in was it is the 20th anniversary of Eddie Guerrero's passing, but he watched a discussion of Eddie's passing, and apparently the Hispanic audience dropped a full 23% when the Eddie versus Ray feud ended, and they never came back. That's interesting to me.
Wow. I didn't know that.
He died in Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Yeah. And strangely, there might have been a staple in his pocket. You never know.
Hey, we're still looking for the perpetrator.
Oh, groan. No, though. R.I.P. Eddie.
Absolutely.
I loved Eddie Guerrero, especially like the lie, cheat, steal, the drop down and throw the chair. Oh, he was great.
He was amazing. He was really, really fun. Honestly, that was one of the saddest nights you'll ever see as far as wrestling is concerned. And just the shock of hearing that he had passed was terrible. Like he was a great, great wrestler, and he was really, just one of those guys that really understood how to perform and really how to get into a character when they gave him a chance to do it. He was amazing, all around, amazing.
No, he absolutely was, and he's one of those wrestlers. Like if you watched his promo that he had again with Brock Lesnar, where he kind of stood up for his lifestyle, it's moving because you can see you can tell when someone has their heart into the promo or not. And he had one man against Brock where he just laid his whole life out there, and it was moving to hear it, and it fucks with me because he died. He was 39 years old. Dude, I'm 42. That he went way too young.
Yeah. I can't reach up and take a
Is Biggie, you still out there?
Biggie's always out there stapling pockets.
fault, guys.
Yeah, I'm de-bandaging Melody because she's got stickers on her. But what are you talking about?
We were talking about the 20th anniversary of the death of Eddie Guerrero.
Oh yeah. Well, there's some news with that. I heard that Chavo could be coming back, and I've been wanting Chavo to come back. He's still alive. He could still wrestle. He's around the same age as Eddie, and I wouldn't mind seeing Chavo. So that's what I got to say about Eddie. Eddie was the GOAT. There'll never be a better Mexican wrestler, in my opinion, than Eddie Guerrero. He should be top 5. If he was still alive, he'd be on top right now in my mind. So that's what I got for that. Yeah,
Chavo, if I remember, I think he was the head trainer on the Iron Claw movie. He helped a lot of the actors, go ahead and with the wrestling.
I believe
movie.
You're right there. I think he's done that in a few movies. But can we all agree that we never want to see Vicky Guerrero again?
No, I've heard some pretty terrible things about her. She definitely.
I just don't want to see her in a wrestling ring with microphones.
Oh yeah, no, she doesn't need to be anywhere near that. I mean, Vince did right by her, took care of her, let her have on-screen time so she could, have money and be able to provide for her family. But yeah, we don't need her to come back. She's good.
Yeah, that was the hard thing about it because on screen she was so bad, and it wasn't oh, I hate her, she's such a bitch. She just wasn't good out there. It wasn't her business. But it was touching that Vince let her have a role on TV to make money after Eddie had passed away. I respected the fact that she was out there for that reason, but it didn't make for a good product.
As always, aggressively relaxing is the worst. No, she just the last place I saw her, she was in AEW managing like Nyla Rose.
Yeah. She hasn't been on TV in a long time, actually. But yeah, she was
I think
nice.
they released her, and that was probably the right call. And
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
in Vicky Guerrero fashion, she might have said some rude things about AEW on her way out.
Yeah.
And that was in the phase where AEW was literally signing anyone that had ever been associated with WWE.
Yep.
And like, I can get her, I get him, I can like, and just they brought in too many people, and no, I'm glad. Hopefully they chill a little bit because
Yeah.
they've been around long enough now where you're seeing people that were in WWE that got released and went to AEW, and then they got their contract and then they're back in WWE, and it's not good for their character.
No, it's not.
It was amazing for Cody Rhodes. Cody left WWE on his intentionally, and he went independent for a while, and then he kept building, and then AEW came around, and he became a big star there. And then when he finally went to WWE, he was really over because of all the hard work that he put in to get back to WWE. And I think some people are kind of trying to copy that and hoping that it works for them, but their journey is different. None of these guys are dropping out of WWE and going to wrestle in gymnasiums and independent scene, and like Cody went the long way around, kind of like Drew McIntyre did. Drew never went to AEW, but he did have to find himself after getting released from WWE.
Yeah, and I was gonna say like there's only like it's funny because if you're gonna like look at like okay, guys that left and then went to went to AEW and then came back, or at least had some type of success, or people that like left for a valid reason. I can give you 4 people easily off the top that like they went over and it made sense for them to kind of do that for their careers. You have obviously Cody. Next was Daniel Bryan Bryan Danielson, because they wouldn't let him wrestle. Same with Adam Cole, but Adam Cole didn't have quite the success that Daniel Bryan or Bryan Danielson ended up doing. And then Jericho is one that looks like he's going to parlay being in AEW for the amount of time he was and move back to WWE. I think he's going to do one last run in WWE to finish his career, which is pretty cool. And he's it's well deserved.
But he also left under really good terms. Like, to the point where when Vince McMahon was still running the ship, he let Jericho be on Austin's Stone Cold's podcast. Yeah, and that is a WWE controlled product. Like, and he had no problem letting him go on there, and like that was a big deal. Like, Vince is spiteful as hell. Like. And for Jericho to still be invited to do that, like, showed that Vince did respect him. Like, so that was cool.
And I mean, really, I mean, I think in that one, that was a good graces type thing where it's like, all right, like, we really don't have anything for you. So, like, go over there. But the door's always open. Because Jericho's the kind of guy, like, just like Cody, who can reinvent himself and then come back as something. And he did it like 5 times in AEW. So it's like, yeah, of course, go back and be Y2J over there and have some matches with some guys that, you haven't had a chance to with, and, do some really good things and let them send you off in style. Like that'd be great. Adam Cole definitely had the worst luck because he kept getting hurt over and over again. The guy couldn't do anything, unfortunately. And I mean, as much as I like Adam Cole, his work on the independents was great. His work down in NXT was awesome. But I mean, I think for him, it's one of those sad stories of that, like, he's a super talented guy, amazing performer, but it took him too long to get to WWE, and they really didn't have a place for him. And AEW, you're watching him kind of break down physically, and it's just, but I mean, he might be pretty much done as far as AEW's, as far as wrestling's concerned. As an in-ring performer, which is kind of rough for him because he was a great talent, and I hope that he can come back and do something, but only if he can do it safely.
Well, what do you guys think about Cena and Dom?
That was great. I think that was a good thing. I mean, it was. I mean, obviously, it was a great thing to have happen in Boston. Like, they were going to do it. It's going to be you're going to get the best reaction you can in Boston because he did what he did, and because it's his hometown. So, and really, for Dom, I think where a lot of people be like, like they took his title away and this and that, it's going to help free him up for bigger and better things. I don't know if he'll ever be a world champion, but he definitely is going to be able to be, in the championship picture for some other things. He's gonna climb the ranks, and he's still what a lot of people forget about that, which is that it won't hurt him dropping this title the way he did because of the fact that he is young. He's young, and he's got a long way to go as far as his career is concerned. So he's definitely going to develop into something special. And I think that the fact that giving him that nod of, all right, you're going to lose to Cena, that's huge. Like that's a big notch in his career to be able to say, all right, I took on Cena in his hometown, I lost to him, but I got to be one of Cena's last opponents. That's pretty special.
No, yeah, that will not hurt his career at all. There's literally no better way to have taken that title off of him than to have Cena take it from him. So, no one will ever, like, a lot of times when you lose the belt, it makes you look a little weak. No one is thinking about how weak Dominic looked in that match. It's that Cena finally got his Intercontinental belt. Like they could not have taken it off of him better, in my opinion.
Yep.
You guys know I'm the contrarian of the. I must say. Let's look at it from a different point of view than just it was great. John Cena, did he really need it? Did he really on his fucking trip to get it? Like, okay, he wanted it for what? 3 weeks? Let's get real. Am I lying? Like they just recently figured out that he didn't have it, and they're like, oh well, maybe you should get it. And then Dom has to drop it. I'm not a big Dom guy. I think he is good. I put him in the middle of the field, and it was good. It was a big deal for him. He was getting it over really well, better than the last few, and I don't know. I guess it's okay, but for me, it's not like the best. You can't have Cena lose to Dom. The match should have never happened in my mind. Like, maybe leave that for what if. I don't think it was that important for Cena to have it, but that's my opinion. All right, we got Becker back. What you got, Becker?
What did I miss? Sorry about that. My internet went out, and I had to get on. I don't know. The cell phone wasn't working the best.
So Biggie was asking about how Dom losing the title kind of affects him, and how you felt about that title change.
I don't think he loses a thing. Dom's a guy that can lose all the time. He gets his heat by his personality and being a shit, You
think it was important You think it was important for Cena to get it?
Didn't it allow him to get the Grand Slam?
Yeah.
Right.
Then yes.
Okay.
But here's the deal: like in wrestling, like there's the thing where, a veteran will triumph over an up and comer at the up and comer's expense, and it sets them back. And I'll give you Cena as an example. Has been guilty of that in the past, where he initially squashed the Nexus stable.
Yep.
And it killed that stable. That stable died. Every character in there, like their career suffered because of it. And that was Cena. That was on Cena because Nexus was meant to go over in that pay-per-view. And Cena at the last minute was like, Vince, we shouldn't do that. And Vince listened to him, and it crushed that entire stable. So that was an example of it being for the bad. This was more doing something for the fans, and it was fun, and they can give Dom that belt back anytime they want. If he needs it for his character. And I do think it is good for his character to have the belt because he's lying and cheating and stealing to keep it. It did definitely advance his career, but in the same breath, like, they have to have a bigger round of contenders for that belt. You can't just fight Rusev every day. Like that got old. And here's another one: is Sheamus needs to go after it.
Yep.
And that would be I would like Sheamus to be his last match. I think that would be a good last match for Cena because Sheamus and Cena did have a really good feud, and Sheamus also needs to get the Intercontinental title to get that Grand Slam under his belt. So that might be a good place for Cena to drop the belt, and then give someone else a moment. But Dom is fine. Like trust me, if I thought that Cena going over was selfish and it fucked Dom over, I would be the first one to call it out. I don't see that. Pop, you got anything on this matter?
Cena is going to put over a new guy like Joe Hendry.
I don't know if I see Joe Hendry winning the title. I could see Sheamus getting it. I mean, Sheamus won his match, so it's possible. I don't know if you'll see him do it. I mean, it would be cool. I mean, as far as if I was fantasy booking it, that's what I would do, just to kind of give two guys the rub. Because I mean, let's be honest, Sheamus is probably about 3 to 5 years out from him calling it a career too. So I mean, I feel like some of these guys, it makes sense to kind of get them. Their accolades, early on, get that out of the way. So that's like, okay, now you can make him back to a mid-carder who doesn't have to do much, just kind of do his own thing. And then, you can bring up the up and coming guys. Cause, I mean, really, Dom is one of them. Braun Breaker is one of them. Bronson Reed's one of them. Like there's a lot of young guys that they're going to end up cultivating into being the champions of the future. And, Obafemi is one exactly. And, I think that, really, for Dom, it's one of those things where like as far as like my thoughts on it, where for Dom, it's one of those things where it's like you've arrived, like you get to lose the title to Cena, be one of his last opponents, like the praise that gets you to be like, hey, listen, like we think that we're confident enough in you to take one of Cena's last appearances, like go on there, have a great match with him, like that's good. And he's going to be able to draw more heat and do a lot more things going forward. Because again, Dominic is young, like he's got a long career ahead of him. So he's going to be a top guy eventually. And I think this is one step towards that. So good for Dom.
Does anyone want to see Chris Jericho be back in WWE?
I would like to see him do one last run. I really would. I think he'd be fun. The end of his AEW run was so bad. Yeah,
I blame that on AEW though. Like,
yeah,
I blame Chris Jericho because he was in a situation where he could do whatever he wanted, and every instinct he had was bad.
Letting a wrestler do whatever they want is usually not the right thing to do, and that right there is a highlight, is a testament to why AEW was gaining strength and is now losing it week after week because you let too many people run the asylum. You just have a new WCW, and that to me is you can get the greatest wrestling mind on earth, and you're still going to book yourself incorrectly because you're booking yourself.
Yeah.
And even when you're putting people over and you're jobbing for like, it don't matter. Like, it's bad. Like, you need to be you need to be booked by someone else that you don't have like full on control over.
That's right.
So,
I mean, and this is going to be taken way, way back, but a guy who suffered from that kind of problem was Vern Gagne.
I'll be right back, guys.
Yeah, Vern Gagne for the longest time just didn't have the foresight to sit there and say, oh, just couldn't get past the fact that it was like, I need to be the champion all the time because I'm the guy to beat. Like I know how to run this thing, and so it's my company. I'm going to do this. And he started to. I mean, and I give him a lot of credit with starting out the foundation for Hulkamania. Like he did do that, and then Hogan moved on because I think he knew somewhere in the back of his head he's going to end up dropping the belt back to Vern at some point. And it's like, dude, like what are you doing? Like you know. Let me cook. Let me do this. I mean, and that was the problem is that like you have a lot of people that like when you book yourself, it's crazy. Sometimes I mean, it can work for a little bit, but then it gets boring. And I think honestly too, I think Jericho may have gotten a little bored with everything. It's just like, dude, there's nothing here for me. I can do what I want to do. So now I'm getting and I don't have to worry about having a good match and doing a good thing because I can just kind of go out there and just cut a promo, have a match there, and then take money, which I don't know if that's specifically what happened, but I mean, going back to WWE, it's like, all right, now I'm slotted in. They're gonna put me where they feel like I work, and it's gonna be like I guess that whole like creativity thing is kind of taken off of him. It's like we're gonna give you the direction. We're gonna tell you, this is the story we want to tell. Go ahead and tell the story. But in the end, you have to answer to them. I mean, in AEW, he only had to answer to himself.
I think that I like bringing back all of the nostalgic old characters. Like I was thinking the other day, I would like to see Rikishi. Now I'm not saying like base the show around the guy. He's not going to bring in all the seats or nothing, but it could bring in a few seats. Give him a little smaller level segment. Give him something that he can do for 5 minutes or whatever, and put him on the show every now and then. I think it would be good. Sure.
He could do some promos. I don't think he can do much wrestling wise. I don't think he moves all that well anymore. But have him do some promos. Yeah, I can see him do that. Like, I think. I mean, it's funny because it's like you have to look around and see like who's kind of coming towards the end of their careers, and it's just like Jericho coming back seems like a natural fit. It seems like something that you would naturally just do because of the fact that he's got such a history with WWE. Like, I mean, it would be crazy not to have him come back and do some type of ending with that.
Who's the star that's in the indie run right now that you would hope can get back in WWE? Because I'll start off. I'm gonna say Ziggler, Wiggle. They got to with him.
Well, I wouldn't say he's independent though, because he's in TNA. Which is like so pretty. It's like whether AEW likes it or not, TNA has really kind of become the second best. But for me, I would only want Ziggler to go back if they could put him over and keep him there.
Yeah.
Because to me, he was such an undervalued performer. They mismanaged him a lot, and if they can bring him back and put him towards the top where he's up there with Seth Rollins and CM Punk and all them, then absolutely. But if they just do what they were doing with him at the end and through most of his career, dude, he got the WWE World Heavyweight Championship.
Yep, he had that great match.
Yeah, and then he got a concussion, and they took it away from him, and his career has never been the same since. Like he got a concussion. That's not him being fragile or weak or like not dependable. Like concussions happen.
Yeah.
Like, and it's dude, he was so good, and he still is. Like, so if they could bring him back, absolutely. But I like him using his real name too.
Nick Nemeth, yeah, it's fun that he's doing like that, and I would say too, like honestly, if I had to give a comparison of what Ziggler really, what Ziggler where they kind of kept him would be like, imagine if Shawn Michaels had just stayed like mid card level, like The Rock or Shawn Michaels, his whole career, like that's really where they kind of kept him for a long period of time, well beyond what he. I mean, it's just like this guy is so good, like you have him making everyone look phenomenal. Except for himself, like so it's just like like it made sense for him to go ahead and move on to something different. But Ziggler coming back, if you can throw him in the main event, which there's no reason why you wouldn't. I mean, he's a very good talent. He can wrestle with anybody, and you know what? Surprise everybody and give him that top of the card run. Like I bet you he could do some great things, especially with the talent they have now. He would do some amazing things with a lot of people that he really didn't get to wrestle all that much before. Like it'd be great to see him do that stuff.
What did I miss?
So Biggie was saying, you're kind of going off the Jericho thing. What other former talents that have been, former alumni of the WWE would you like to see come back? For another run, and he had mentioned Dolph Ziggler, and so we were just talking about that, like Ziggler coming back. If he was to go back to WWE, how would you receive that? Like, what would you think about that?
I mean, I'd rather have Dolph Ziggler than Chris Jericho.
So you never really gave us the Jericho part of things. Like what's your opinions on Jericho going back, and why do you have a?
I'm fine if it's like just a very limited amount of matches, and it's all like his greatest hits. Maybe a match with Kevin Owens, something like that. Like I'm fine in small doses, but I don't need Jericho all over Monday Night Raw.
Oh, he's gonna be all over it.
Yeah,
I don't think he's going to be the main event of any freaking.
Oh no! But he's gonna the highlight reel is gonna become a weekly segment, though. That's gonna happen. He's gonna be doing.
I don't know. It might happen. I don't know. They give him all that when he comes back. I think they might keep him limited for a little bit.
Well, I mean, so if you think of it like as far as in ring, they can limit him, but that's an easy way of having him kind of go
Bring
ahead
him back and guarantee him a weekly segment. That would be pretty intense. Maybe that's a thing to think.
Because he's able to go ahead and get the other guys over as far as angles and progress those stories, and then eventually, throw him in one of those here and there. Like, I mean, it could work.
Better than seeing him wrestle, probably.
Yeah, he got himself in. Like, I mean, the pictures he's posted recently, he's gotten himself back into really good shape. So,
this is the WWE's problem. Like, Pop will find some reason why it makes sense, but they're going after guys like Chavo and Chris Jericho instead of Ziggle Wiggle. That's their problem. I mean, I think really the hard part with all that too is the fact that you bring that up. They do have. I'll say this much: they have broadened out with having the working relationship with TNA and then buying AAA, but they're still kind of limited in the amount of like good spots they have on that card for people. So I think they do need to be a little selective in who they're bringing back to put on the card and see what they can do. Just because, like you said, like someone like Ziggler. I mean, if you had to make a choice, Chavo or Ziggler, I would choose Ziggler over Chavo. That's just me. Not saying anything bad about Chavo, but I think that Ziggler he's more relevant right now. Chavo is still amazing, and he can still do good stuff. You want to bring Shinzei Senjaki back? He wants Beckerman wants Hakushi back. Apparently, he's showing the heel and faces. Well, that's a great thing. My next two would be Cesaro and freaking what's his name? Cardona. Those would be my.
I think you have a better chance of seeing Cardona there than you do Claudio or Cesaro. Cesaro's locked up in AEW. He ain't going nowhere. He's doing fine where he's at.
Doing great, yeah.
But yeah, Cardona made an appearance on NXT recently. Like,
interesting.
I'm trying to think for him. Like I mean, he could do. Like it all depends on him. Like if he's okay giving up the King of the Indies thing, that's cool. But if he comes back, if he comes back though, he's got to be like, I don't want to see Zack Ryder. I want to see Matt Cardona. I want him to keep the Cardona persona
What
going.
do you guys think of that Ridge Holland stuff?
That was nasty the way they did Ridge Holland. Like that wasn't cool at all.
I mean, he was unprofessional, and they look petty. Is my take?
Yeah, it was rough. It's like the guy can't work, and it's just like that sucks because he's like, I got a family and stuff like that, and I can't like not work.
But then he did that weird GoFundMe thing. Oh, it was started by my mom, and
what happened with that? I'm not caught up on this story.
Okay, so Ridge Holland puts out a tweet that essentially says, oh, real nice WWE. I mean, they are paying my medical bills and stuff, but they've just told me that they're not renewing me. And, I've got a mortgage, I've got bills. My kids are going to have a scared and uncertain Christmas because of this. Like we're pretending that he hasn't made like six figures for the last several years and hopefully was smart with his money. If he wasn't, I mean, that's another story. Maybe you can sell the house for hopefully more than you paid for it or got left in it or whatever. But anyway, he puts this out, and WWE does their petty corporate BS where they fired him 9 days before his contract ran out to deny him 9 days of pay. And they fired. It was a for cause based on his tweets, which violated some part of his contract. It was a bad look. Just pay him for the 9 days.
Well, yeah,
At the same time, though, I do subscribe to the theory though that, like, even if they didn't want to renew his contract, he would want to go back there someday. And he absolutely lit that bridge ablaze. And
yes,
like, so, I'm not kidding you. Like, yes, it makes them look petty, but wow, dude, you have to be chill and professional. Even if WWE never brings you back, like, you make yourself look ungrateful and like you're the problem when you openly speak out against the company that is actively paying for your medical bills right now. Like, I not smart is what I would say on his part. And dude, I'd fire him too, man. Like, you want to try and hurt the brand, but on your way out the door, then yeah, we fired you. Like,
I mean, most of this with like, I have a corporate job. Pretty sure so does D. Like, I'm not allowed to go onto social media and badmouth my employer.
Yeah, I wouldn't do the same either at my job. But I will say that, I mean, when you look at this whole thing, is like that there's a lot of people that have done similar. And, I mean, it all depends on who you are. And the thing is that, like, like Cody went through and kind of gave a hard time to WWE about the way that they treated him with Stardust and all the rest of it. CM Punk is a great example. Like, he could not wait to talk all the shit he possibly could about WWE, but he's back there now. And, in the end of it all, this is like, it is Ridge Holland. You're not CM Punk. You're not Cody Rhodes. And I have to say, like, even if you went out there and did it again, I still don't see you being able to really rehab your image that much so that they're like, oh, we need to hire you back. Because to say, like, tweets aside and everything else, you're the guy who ended Big E's career, and we like Big E. Yeah, that kind of sucks. He did that.
I mean, that wasn't. I would not say that he. It was a belly-to-belly suplex on the floor, right?
Yeah, it was unintentional. So that's the one. But it is something that people can. It is something that people would sit there and jab at him about. Like, in this.
He was a little over energized on that. I think, to dump freaking Big E on top of his head. Like, come on, that was a botch. That was a botch.
I mean, absolutely, it was a botch. And it could have been any number of things. It could have been Big E wasn't ready. It could have been that he like you said, he threw him a little too hard.
Was trying to slam the Giant, not Big E or something. I don't know. It just was a lot.
Yeah. But the thing too is that, like, I mean, he's not the only one. I mean, he's the most recent, but I want to say that former what was her name? Gigi Dolan, aka Priscilla Kelly, is out there like kind of spilling the tea on WWE a little bit too, talking about the salaries that people get, talking about how she was bullied a lot to the point where she was kind of feeling not so good about herself and thinking of doing some terrible things and this and that. So and then you've also got Shotzi, that's kind of, she hasn't really said anything bad, but she's kind of been like, like I'm out here making my money because they wouldn't let me over there. And, you also have Karrion Kross, who I think Karrion Kross will definitely make his way back. I think the fact that he's able to do his thing and make, get all the eyes on him right now because he was over on his way out, I think that he'll be back eventually. But it's a risky game you play when you, give your former employer, being the WWE and being in that business. It's a risky business, a risky gamble when you say shit about them. Like, you may never get seen there again.
I want to talk about DVH's comment because he's bringing up, oh, is it going to be like, oh, sorry, Pop.
If Holland spent all his money, that's on him.
Yeah.
TKO/WWE just said F you and fired his mid-star that wasn't going anywhere.
Fair enough.
So I want to acknowledge DVH's comment. It's the question I have about it is, does that mean he can't work for a year in the U.S. like Andrade? Well, that's the funny thing is that Andrade thing, that would never hold up in court. You can't. I don't know of any judge that would say, oh yeah, this company can break all ties with you but hold you to a 1-year non-compete even though they didn't pay out the end of the contract. That's one of those things companies, and I see it a lot in my job, companies put weird stuff in contracts that they know wouldn't uphold a judge, but they do it because they know not everybody's got the means to go fight it out. And by the time you get it resolved, you kind of get your way anyway. Like I've seen, I'm going to be careful in how I phrase that. I will say in the context of former jobs I may have had, I've seen some weird non-compete clauses, and not a one of them would ever hold up. Like if you actually got a lawyer and that was worth his salt or their salt, and you took it to court, no way, wouldn't hold up. And that to me is one of them. The Andrade thing, that's bunk. Like there's no way a judge would. And well, who knows though, because WWE does have friends in high places now.
Yeah. But I don't know how that all kind of gets out there. I thought it was something weird like that, though. I know he's at a non-compete.
Yeah, so they let him go. They said he breached contract. They terminated him, but then they enforced a piece of the contract that said he had a 1-year non-compete.
Yeah.
Well,
and I
hold
think
on.
in Rich's case, though,
There's more details on that. So it's a 90-day non-compete. But they fired him, and then he was on AEW the next week.
Yeah.
Which escalates the non-compete. So if he had followed the 90-day non-compete like he was supposed to, he would have been only out of action for 90 days. But the fact that he hopped into AEW and was on TV a week later, that is where the 1-year non-compete kicks in. And
all I'll say is in my knowledge and experience with non-competes, when you push them in court, very few of them hold up.
I'll tell you this though, if that was the case with this, AEW would keep him out there.
Yeah.
Because AEW they're not as well off as TKO, but they do have money to put on lawyers, and they could.
Like Tony Khan's family doesn't have him on retainer.
No, they could, but the fact that they took him off TV so quickly tells me that they don't think that it would hold up That they think that TKO would win the lawsuit is why he's not on TV anymore.
See, I don't know if I agree with that, D. What I think it is they don't think it's worth the time. Because here's the thing: how long would it take you to fight that? The average backlog is a year. So by the time you're ready to go fight it, it's over.
Yeah. I was gonna say too, and
which is the real secret. Like that's the open secret about these things. This is why you do them, because by the time anybody goes to fight it, you're gonna get your way.
Well, the other thing that I would say too that's crazy about it is that like so when you look at Andrade and just I mean his track record for the last few years as far as the companies he worked for, it's like, you know, I would also be like, is he worth it? Because I mean, he's not going to be over in a year. Like no one, I can't wait for Andrade to get back. That 1 year is going to be amazing. Like, I mean, really, it's like, dude.
I'll tell you who it screwed over. It screwed over Kenny Omega.
Yeah, because he's got no feud now.
Well, he whipped Kenny Omega around, and they no comeuppance for it.
Yeah, it's over. Like,
although I have to say, I feel like the AEW fans are so like smart to everything going on that there isn't an AEW fan that doesn't know this. Like a WWE fan would be like, "Oh, what happened to that guy that whipped our guy's butt and then he just disappeared?" Like in AEW, everybody knows exactly what went on. It's the probably the most engaged and educated audience of a product. For what their product is. They all know their guys.
I'm kind of, and that's why I give them a comparison to an ECW. Because ECW's fans knew what was going on. I mean, they were all very smart. Like the smart marks that Brian Pillman kept calling them because they knew all the stuff. Like they knew everything. They would call people out. They would call out storylines. You know, they were the ones that were, you know, going ahead and causing some of the trouble when it came into like the call-in shows and stuff like that. Like, oh, like you had Chris Candido on. It's like, who is Chris Candido? Oh, yeah, you call him Skip, but that's Chris Candido. We know him over here. And it's just like, okay, thank you. And then hang up on those guys just because it's like, you know, we don't need you going, you know, spilling things back and forth. So, you know, and I mean, smart marks can make things better, but they can also ruin them too, just because the being as fickle as they were, it makes things crazy. Like the New York crowd used to be, you know, the Madison Square Garden crowd back in the day for house shows used to be the crowd that used to really, you know, ruin and test a lot of people's patience on you know, the storylines they wanted to tell, because it was like they were the guys that were booing the baby faces way early on in advance because they didn't like the guy. And then eventually you'd see a heel turn come down like 3 months later because New York was ahead of the curve on a lot of stuff. Or they cheer somebody that is clearly a heel. And it's like, why are they cheering them? Because they want to see them turn face. Like that was their deal. So I feel like AEW is kind of like that too. That they're very fickle. You know, 1 minute they kind of don't. They only want things to kind of go one way, and they do a lot. I would say they hijack a lot of stuff too. Like there's some things that don't get to play out because of the fact that the crowd kind of steers it in a different direction with AEW.
When I went to the AEW pay-per-view in July. I will tell you that everyone that I sat around in my section annoyed the hell out of me because everyone was the Smart Mark fan, every single one of them. And it just got annoying after a while because, like, at a certain point, like, I'm a Smart Mark too, but I wanted to watch the show. And I didn't need to broadcast my knowledge to the person to the left of me and the person in front of me and the person behind me. And like everyone was just trying to prove how smart of a wrestling fan they were. And instead of just watching the show and enjoying it, like it did get annoying, but at the same time, like that's what they have there. Like it makes them feel smarter and, like, hey, there you go, man. Now you're smarter than the WWE fan. Good job.
Well, I mean, if you look at how it came about, it was the whole thing. It was like, you know, you had 4 guys that were just like, you know what, this is what we're doing. 4 or 5 guys, the EVPs, Cody and the Bucks and Hangman Page and what's it called, and Kenny Omega, who were basically saying that, look, we're creating our own company. This is basically for the fans and this and that. So that's the audience they cultivated. And unfortunately, when you go to something like that, it's just like Dee said, you want to be immersed in what's going on. It's like going to a movie theater and sitting there with a bunch of movie directors and producers. It's like, okay, guys, I want to watch the movie and get immersed in this thing. I don't want to sit there and hear what you would have shot the scene a different way, or how, this line doesn't work here. And, we really wanted Denzel for this, but we couldn't get him. And that's what I would liken it to. It's like, oh my God, please, can we just watch the match and just, all be in awe of what just happened? No? Okay, fine.
All right.
Well, Pop, we're now over an hour. Do you want to keep going or wrapping it up?
No, Pop is typing in his final thoughts here.
Well, guys, we can start going around the horn a little bit. We talked I guess we really went on I liked the contract talk, I have to say. And I'm sorry my phone sucks and I missed half of it. But, yeah. How about Boston Chris? Where are you going to be this week?
So, Sunday on the Comic Book Church. Next Thursday on the Sweet Chin Music. And that's where you'll see me. I may or may not do a graphic content with Who Dat. We got to talk about it. So we'll let you know on that. Who knows? Maybe I'll have an unboxing on my own channel, or just show some books on my own channel. Wouldn't that be nice? But yeah, for sure. Church, and with you guys again next week.
Words. Fuck you, Thunder. You can suck my dick. You can't get me, Thunder, because you're just God's farts.
Yeah. Hey, you'll see me on the Big Shack Network this upcoming Wednesday. We're going to be reviewing this book on Book Club.
Nice. Does anything happen in it?
Yeah, nothing of any importance. Just a random pull. So yeah, we'll be reviewing that book. I don't want to spoil anything, but I think it's going to rate pretty high based on what everyone on the panel was kind of like hinting at. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah, man, when I can get on this show, I'll be here, and once in a while I'll pop on the Friday night show with Biggie. So yeah, that's what I got. That's all I got.
Excuse me. I'd like to ask you a few questions.
Yeah, we did a Hot 5 Commandments, me and TM. That was real good, because I was like pointing out them keynotes that them jabrones don't know nothing about, dude. I don't know how they miss them, brother, but it's going to be more. I don't know. I got about 10 or 15 of them now that seem pretty important. And Collector Club Friday, I don't know what's going on. I don't have like a blood contract with guys, but whoever shows up, we might do something fun, And I heard this church thing was pretty popular, so I might pass by there. That's it. Thank you, Pop. Appreciate you, man.
When you have nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
I should have switched the picture in Boston Chris. I'm an avid supporter of the Biggie Shack Network. If you're not checking that out, I don't know what's wrong with you. I'll be back here on Thursday. And Bleeker's Church. I think everybody pretty much hangs out there, so you probably should too.
In line is fucking over for you. Get your ass off my screen.
Yeah, they shouldn't have fired Jesse either, Pop. The builder.
Jesse Ventura?
Yeah.
Jesse Ventura, they were, I think, worried about the fact that he just kind of goes off on his own. And I think the last straw for him was when he sorry.
Love you all and peace out.
And I'm out too.